Namaste all you fragrant people, and welcome to Om Incense Show with DJ, a show that helps you increase your incense quotient. So if you are an incense enthusiast, consider subscribing. So today we have this Flourish Fragrances Khus. So we have this here, and this was an episode which was long requested by Vidvatam ji. I got this from Acharya Products. So this is what we have. It says discovering the Khus premium natural incenses, Flourish 100% handmade product. So this is what we have. It's all in green, of course, to show the green attar, the vetiver attar, the Khus attar, which is green in color. So this is what we have. Of course, it shows the attar bottle and a butterfly there. This is what we have. On both the on both the sides, the branding is the same. It's in English with Khus written in Hindi in a smaller font. That's what we have here. On one side, we have the address, the customer care number, and all those things, and it says 50 grams of incense for 200 rupees. And on one side we have Khus written in various Indian languages, and it says go green. On both the openings we still have the same thing. It says Khus Flourish Fragrances. So that's what we have. So the overall pack is like that, 200 rupees for 50 grams. Now what we get inside is this silver pouch which has branding on it in green. It says Khus Flourish Fragrances. Oh, by the way, and this incense is from this is from Flourish Fragrances, which is in Ahmedabad, Gujarat. This is what we have. If we talk of the count, I think we have around what, 20-25 incenses. That's what we have. This is what we have in terms of count. The incense that we get is this 9-inch dark brown incense, which is handmade. It's clear that this is a handmade incense because of the undulations of the incense. It is not as prim and proper, as chic as the handmade, the machine made dipped one. So this has its own imperfections, which makes it really nice. So this is what we have. It has a little bit of masala, not a lot, but a little bit of masala on top, and it's dark brown. If we talk of the burn time, this is going to be more than 45 minutes. The usual machine ones are like 45 minutes, but the handmade ones are, they are around 55 minutes or so, an hour or so. So this is what it's going to be like. The bamboo core is brown in color, or the deep red kind of a color is there. It's sturdy and smooth. It's rounded. That's the kind of bamboo core this has. So this is what we get in terms of the incense. Now the cold note that we get from this incense is like that typical vetiver attar with a mixture of, pan masala or sweet supari. If you ever had those sweet pan, that's the kind of fragrance you get from this. It's a nice blend of pan masala kind of fragrance with Khus attar, and it has a nice sweetness that smooths it. It makes a nice smooth blend out of it. It gets it all together very well. That's the kind of sweetness this has, and that's the kind of fragrance that we get from the cold note. So it has that nice pan masala kind of fragrance to it. It's a nice, rich, intense fragrance that we get from the cold note. Like, of course, most of the incenses, you have a nice concentrated fragrance in the top note, and then of course it diffuses when we light up the incense. So that's what we have here. Light up the incense, the smoke, the fragrance that we get from the smoke is quite diluted. It's quite toned down. So it is exactly what we got in the top note of the incense, the cold note, but it's quite toned down, but it's still rich and intense. The strength is quite good. If we talk of the strength of the incense, it's somewhere between mid and high, towards the higher end. It's between the mid and high, but towards the higher end. So if you like an incense which has a strong sense, a strong scent, you would like it. And the strength of the fragrance is quite good. It's nice, it's full bodied, and it has that nice matured fragrance because the blend has come out really well. However, with Khus, with vetiver, there are two kind of notes that we get, and whether it's in perfumes or in the agarbattis, in incense. The one note that we get is that grounded, the one that is like very dry Khus root fragrance. So it's very much like sandalwood. It's like nice, mild, earthy. It's quite centering, quite grounding, very calming fragrance. That's the kind of fragrance that I got from the Khus fragrance with Isha Life. So Sadhguru's fragrance, if you ever if you've ever had that incense, that is the kind of note that you get in that Khus incense. But here what we get is that attar fragrance. So I am not really very fond of the attar fragrance in any form other than the attar itself. Even in the attar, if you get it from nice perfumery houses, so I had one from Kannauj, which was a really nice one, and a little goes a long way. You just have to dab a very little bit of it on your pulse, and on your pulse points, on your behind the ears and behind the ear, and on your nape and stuff, on your collarbones, and it'll mature on your skin throughout the day. It's quite dynamic, the fragrance changes. So I like that fragrance, which is like really, you have to apply very little bit and it goes a long way. So that's the kind of fragrance I like. In terms of when it comes to incenses, I like that root fragrance, that dry root wood fragrance, the one that we get from some other incenses, not this one. So I like that one. Now if we talk of the diffusion of the incense, the diffusion is quite good. It diffused in my entire house, so given a capacity, the diffusion capacity is quite good. Given an opportunity, it's going to diffuse to a large area, so it's going to be a very good one if you have a puja where you have to, where there are very many people, or you have to light up in a large space. It's going to be a very good one. If we talk of the retention of the fragrance, the retention is around 4 to 5 hours, which is like quite good. The fragrance is nice and strong, and so if you like an incense which has a nice strength to it, if you like that nice green attar fragrance, the whatever attar fragrance with a nice blend of sweetness to it, you would like it. If you are someone like me who likes that mild fragrance of whatever, you might not like this. To me, this was an average kind of fragrance, even though I'm sure people who like attar fragrances, the Khus attar fragrance, would definitely like this, because if it's a requested episode, of course it has to be, somebody must have really liked it so much to request this. So this is Khus fragrance from Flourish Fragrances. I give it a 3 stars. That's Khus fragrance with 3 stars. So that's what we had today. Now the quiz that we had last time was name an incense resin which is good for bones and joints. So I was aware of Google, so I was looking for an answer. That's Google, because in Ayurveda it's known as something that helps with your bones and joints. However, Vidvatamji, Muthuramanji and Manuji, so all the 3 of these people replied frankincense, and I wasn't aware of it, but I'm sure this must also be the correct answer. So frankincense also is there, and my answer was Google. The quiz that we have this time is give me the Latin name of the evergreen laurel tree from which we get camphor. That's the quiz for today. I hope you enjoyed this episode and you learned something from it. If you think somebody else can learn something from it too, share it with them. If you liked it, give it a like, and till we meet again next, take very good care of yourself. Namaste.